Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about signs your breakup isn't permanent.
Ooh.
That's what you're all looking for, right?
I know. We're about to get into it. Before we do, I did want to say that Coach Craig and I are available for coaching sessions. So if you're interested in that, you can head to the website and book from there.
Yeah, we often feel very hopeless when no contact drags out, and it often takes our ex months before they change their mind and want to come back. Unfortunately, I have found over the years that breakups don't turn around right away. Just like they're often not caused right away. It's a slow progression of the relationship falling apart and the person feeling disconnected or unhappy, so they leave. But it takes some time to want to come back. The hard part is sitting with the uncertainty of knowing if they're ever going to come back or they're not going to come back. It's challenging, but we do see a lot of interesting behaviors that happen while you're in no contact or no reaching out. Now, please don't panic if you haven't seen these things yet. Like I said, it often takes your ex time to get there. But when you start to see some of the signs that we talk about today, you're going to realize, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought, because breakups often feel way worse than they actually are.
Right, and it's hard to be in the dark when you don't have any clues or signs, or you don't really know what to look for after a breakup of how to move forward.
Yeah.
Are you saying, well, is there any hope in this at all?
Yeah.
Is there any little silver lining to this cloud?
Yeah.
So that's what we're hoping to provide in this video, just some signs so that you can assess your own situation and see if that can influence your moves moving forward.
And also remember, it's just a sign of where things are at this present moment. It doesn't mean it's not going to change or be different in a week or a month or something like that.
Right.
Okay, so the first one is that they do unusual things on social media. How many bizarre things have you seen that anytime you hear something new, you're like, well, that's a new one, right?
All the time. With technology nowadays.
I had a guy, I think it was yesterday, that, they're broken up and the ex hasn't changed their status on Facebook. That's a big one. People will leave the status as in a relationship, and not just in a relationship, they'll still say your name. And you're like, we haven't talked in 3 months. But this is part of letting go, and sometimes people aren't ready to do that.
Right.
So if you see weird things like that, it's a sign that they're still struggling to let go too, right? Here's another odd one that I saw not too long ago. They like a post out of nowhere, right? Sometimes they aren't even following you, and you'll see them like a post, and then that's it. Like they're trying to poke you and get your attention, but we don't want you to fall for that. Here's another big one. Blocking and unblocking. How many times you talk to somebody like, they blocked me, then they unblocked me, and then I didn't write to them, and then they blocked me again. What are they doing? They're confused. Sometimes they'll block you for weeks at a time. They don't know what they want. They're struggling too, and they don't want to reach out. They're not ready to reach out, but it shows you they're trying to get your attention. You don't do stuff like that if you're not trying to get someone's attention.
Another thing that you might see is unusual accounts starting to follow you. And you would be surprised at how many situations I see where an ex has said, don't talk to me, I never want to hear from you again. But then they continue to check to see if you're either messaging them or maybe even trying to log into your accounts or trying to gain more information about your life.
Yeah, all of a sudden you have 903XP02 following you.
And sometimes they're less discreet than that. Sometimes they're like, stop blocking me. Starts adding you. You're like, wait a minute. So just be aware of those types of things. Not always. We don't have any evidence that this traces back to your ex. But this is just something that we see in talking with clients that we find a bit suspicious and might mean that they're still emotionally involved. When you think about it, what really tells me that somebody has moved on is not when they're angry, it's not when they're upset, it's not when they're in an emotionally charged state, it's when they're apathetic. It's almost when they're numb. Yes. So those are some things you might see. Another big one is that they've left pictures up on their social media of the two of you or fond memories up. The reason to me why this is one of those signs is because this is also something that's preventing them or might be some type of a barrier to them dating other people.
True.
So other people might look at that, might question. It can, create some tension in whatever new relationship that they're in. So this is something that they might say, well, I don't care. Those memories are important to me. I lived them and I want them up. And so that tells me there's some sort of fondness or warmth there. Not always. There's people who are very, mindless about their social media.
Yeah.
But this is a call that you can make and trying to assess your own situation.
Yeah. And it's hard to let go of those special memories,
Yeah.
those pictures that they really liked and they have a hard time taking them down. Shows that they still care.
Right. They keep tabs on you. They keep tabs on you. This can be through social media, once again, watching stories, liking posts. It could also be through trying to find out information from family and friends. Oh, your ex keeps asking about you. Oh, interesting.
Or you'll get this weird person that you don't really know, but they knew, but they reach out to see how you're doing. It's like, wait, what?
Wait a minute, right? Or their mom starts watching all your stories all of a sudden. She never watched
at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
When they've been asleep for 6 hours.
Yeah. So these types of weird and sneaky things do happen.
Yeah.
We're not trying to get you to a place where you're paranoid and misconstruing everything. And these are just some things that we see might be worth thinking about. They're curious about you. They want to know what's going on in your life. That shows some level of emotional investment there.
Yep. All right. The next one. This is big. They're looking for excuses to contact you. Okay. What I call the indirect direct approach. A lot of times they come up with some reason that makes kind of sense that they'd reach out about, but not total sense. And you're just like, is this an indirect direct? Or do they really need this thing? But if you see that they keep reaching out, it shows that they're fighting themselves. They're struggling with not reaching out to you. And they keep coming up with excuses within themselves to justify it, to reach out. But that's also a big sign that they're struggling with the breakup. Here's another one. They contact you at unusual times. So maybe you get an indirect direct at midnight and you're like, have I seen your backpack at 1 o'clock in the morning? Right? It's telling you that it's late at night. They're alone. They're lonely. They're struggling. They miss you. And they couldn't resist the urge to reach out and see what you were doing.
Right. Another big one is that they get emotional about things. Okay. So when we start to miss our ex-partner, we start to get emotional about even sometimes the smallest things. Another big one that we see, and this one you might not think will happen to you until it happens to you, but this is if they get emotional about things to you. So you might be deciding to, invest your time into friends and family, doing other things. If your ex gets wind of this and has a reaction that they want to share with you, you start getting long blocks of text from them.
Yep.
You see that something has impacted them. That also shows their continued emotional investment. They care about what you're doing. Not only are they interested and curious, they're not just trying to get information, but they're having a reaction and expressing it to you.
And I have this going on with a guy that I'm working with right now. His ex is getting upset that he went to a concert and she was like, well, I like that band and you never took me to see them. Why are you doing that? And why are you all dressed up? Where did you get that shirt? When did you get that shirt? You're looking good. You lost weight. All of these things she just said to him recently.
I'm mad that you're so dang sexy.
I get that a lot.
From who? No, kidding.
Everybody. But so he's so confused because she's so intensely angry at him. But he's like, I don't get it. She says she doesn't want to fix it, but then she's mad that I'm going to the gym and she's missing out on this new version of me. So that's a big sign that someone still cares.
Right. And it's not always just anger. Sometimes it could be jealousy. Sometimes it could be sadness. Getting texts about, your ex's sad feelings at random hours. It could be even happiness sometimes. Sometimes your ex is excited about something and they want to share it with you and they just can't help but share it with you. Or they see that you've accomplished something and they really want to congratulate you and praise you for it. So if you see that a lot of emotion rises in them and they are trying to express it to you, that is a sign that there's still emotional investment, that the breakup probably is not final.
Yeah. I know this next one is a little bit weird, but I see it. On some level, they're kind of acting like you're still together. And they get upset when you're not acting like you are. that you should be doing these things like you would be doing if you were together, and they're angry about it. It's like, but wait a minute, you were the one that wanted the breakup. It's such a big mixed message. It's such an odd one when it comes up too.
It is a very odd one.
Yeah.
You know, and this we see a lot with those with more avoidant attachment styles. They try to pretend like nothing happened. They try to reel you back in, and you're just left confused, like, what is happening? How did we get here? What's going on? So that is something that we do see. Another big one is that they're showing interest in what you're doing. So you might be involved in a new hobby. You might be on this journey of self-growth after a breakup, investing your time into new and different things, maybe even posting about it, maybe not. But if they show interest in that, oh, I saw that you picked up some pickleball.
Yeah.
You know, when did you start that?
Yeah.
I never saw you be interested in pickleball before.
Yeah.
Pickleball is a thing that we see all the time now. I don't know why it's so popular now.
I want to try it.
And so they might be curious about those types of things and show that interest. And another one is also curiosity about if you are dating someone new. And this one, sometimes they ask very subtly. So, have you been seeing anybody lately? Have you been, going on any dates or talking to anyone? So it might be a subtle way to try to find information. Sometimes they'll also use, as we said earlier, family and friends to try to get that information.
Don't be so eager to share that information either.
Right. So if they do know and they want to try to get more information from you about anybody that you might be dating, or if you are dating at all, don't dive into how they know. Many of us are, how do you know that? Who did you talk to? Have you been stalking me? What's been going on? Why do you care?
Yeah, sometimes they will slip, like say you start talking with them again, and in the conversation they're like, so I saw you went to that concert 3 months ago. And they're like, wait a minute, I didn't even post about that. Or you did post it about it, but your profile is private.
Right.
Like, how did they know? How did they see?
Yeah.
But they know. A lot of times they know a lot more than you think they do.
This is true.
Yep.
So these are just some signs that we had thought up just based off of our experience, what we learned from you guys in calls. If you want to comment below and tell us what you think, if there's any things that you notice that are a little bit suspicious, your breakup story, we'd love to hear it.
Yep. And just remember, just because you haven't seen these signs yet, it doesn't mean they aren't coming. Keep working on yourself in no contact. The work pays off either way. Either they come back and you can showcase the changes and the growth that you've made, or you move forward and you are able to do these things with somebody else that you're really excited about.
Right.
Okay.
And ultimately, you want clarity. You want your ex to be direct with you about restarting this relationship. 9 times out of 10, they're probably not going to be, which is why we provided this list for you. So ultimately you want them to be able to say, okay, let's repair this. Let's be mature adults about this and see how we can make our relationship better. But these are some signs that you might see leading up to that kind of an escalation.
Yep.
So.
All right. Hopefully this one's been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can go to my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.